Hi guys, welcome back to the channel Smart Study with Tasween. So please do like, subscribe and share the channel. So philosophy of education, we are going to see the important notes. We have already covered first chapter, second chapter. Now it's fourth chapter. So we'll be covering the third chapter in the other video. Okay. So let's move on to the topics. So chapter name is Western Schools of Philosophy. So we have here first Marxism schools of philosophy, that is philosophy of man and matter, perspective of society and world. Then Karl Marx introduced it. Then comes principle of Marxism as historical materialism, what we observe is the real world. Then Marxism and modern socialism, characteristics of man in the formation of his environment. Then socialism, then communist manifesto, so the seed for modern socialism. Next is principles of Marxism, that is human history is a class struggle, wealth is a result of hard work, hard work is the human values, and workers has a right to receive wealth. Then comes basic principles of Marxism, that is protecting public properties, respecting public officials, respecting parents, elders and workers, developing the morality of the people, abolishing all private properties, then observing honesty and discipline. Then comes education aims of Marxism. First one, developing the aids of ideas of Marxism, developing the favorable attitude towards Marxism and values, eradicating social classes, giving free education. Just you should give the points only, okay, for all this. That is for principle of Marxism, basic principle of Marxism, and education aims of Marxism. Next education aims are, the other aims are equalizing education opportunities, ensuring social development, social change, importance for vocational education, importance for child-centered education, importance for women's education, importance for girls in school, importance for secular education, importance for physical education, and importance for science education. Then comes curriculum of Marxism, that is skill development, labor integral part, then science, maths, geography, biology, astronomy, etc. are covered. Then thought in a mother tongue, productive works and co-curricular activities are given importance. Okay. Next comes teaching methods, that is demonstration method, learning by doing, should not teach in four walls, then experimental learning and group activities, rejects competitive learning. Then comes role played by the teacher, follow Marx's method, Marx's ideology, follow Marx's social order, then so have a social attitude and social awareness. Just give the points, that's enough. Okay. Next school is existentialism. Existentialism means freedom, choice, personal interpretation. Individual defines reality, truth, and goodness, finding self, question of the meaning of life. Then comes concepts of existentialism, that is human free will, life choices, decisions are not without stress, not rational, personal responsibility, society, unnatural. Then comes characteristics of existentialism, that is no universal reality, development of whole person and subject is less important. Next is existentialism and education, that is man is free to select what he want to become. Then comes existentialism and aims of education, that it is self-dependent, responsible, creativity, strong and intelligent. Next comes curriculum of existentialism, that is it is a rigid curriculum, individual differences is there, immediate needs. Central place is given to poetry, drama, humanities, music, art, novels, and second place is given to social and science subjects. Then comes method of teaching, that is Socrates method, man acquires. Then come about the teacher, that is assist children. Free child freedom to select what he wants to become and how to become. Then about school of existentialism, that is aid children in knowing themselves and their place in society. Then individual teaching. Then the discipline of existentialism, that is freedom at school. That's all about existentialism. Next school is pragmatism. It came from the Greek word pragma, which means work done. Then it also came the other some of them said that it is came from the Greek word pragmatikos, which means utility or practicability. Then it is also known as experimentalism. The first activity is done on the basis of the activity. The results are formed on the basis of the results of the activity. The principles or ideals is derived. Then John Dewey and others, some of the educationists form this pragmatism. Then comes the definition of pragmatism by James B. Pratt. That is, pragmatism offers as a theory of meaning, a theory of truth of knowledge, and a theory of reality. Then principles of pragmatism, that is, it is a changing nature of truth. Truth is formed by its result. Then third point, problem as the motives of truth. Then fourth point, emphasis on social and democratic values. Fifth point, principle of utility, emphasis on principle of utility. Then sixth point, opposition to fixed ideals and values. Then seventh point, importance of manpower. Then eighth point, importance of activity. Ninth point, faith in present and future. Then tenth point, opposition to social customs and tradition. 11th point, faith in pluralism. 12th point, reality still in the making. And 13th point, faith in flexibility. You should explain with 2 or 3 sentences for each of these principles. Okay. Next comes pragmatism and education. It is closely related to modern education. Change is their slogan. That is, change in the education. Nothing is permanent, and more gaining of knowledge for the sake of knowledge is not the real aim of education. Then comes characteristics of pragmatism and education. Education as life, education as growth, education as continuous reconstruction of experiences, education as a social process, education as a responsibility of state. You should write 2 or 3 sentences for each of these points. Okay. Next comes pragmatism and aims of education. Aims means to change with the aim of education of pragmatism is, that is, change with time, space, and circumstances. Next is pragmatism and curriculum, that is, principle of utility, principle of interest, principle of experience, and principle of integration. You should explain each principle with 2 or 3 sentences. Next comes pragmatism and method of teaching. That is, it rejects outdated ones, it's a lifeless and rigid traditional methods of teaching. It expects principle of purposive process of learning, principle of learning by doing, and principle of integration. You should explain each point with each methods of teaching with 2 or 3 sentences. Next comes project method. That is, child learn by his own activities and experience. Then comes pragmatism and teacher. Teacher acts as a guide, friend. Teacher understands the needs of the student, and teachers and student have a close relationship. Next comes pragmatism and discipline. They have social discipline. Then pragmatism and school. School institution means a child should gain real experience of the actual life from the social institution. Then comes merits of pragmatism. It is project method, child-centered education, learning by doing, utilitarian life, then activity-centered. Next come demerits of pragmatism. That is, no eternal truth, neglect values and ideals, no predetermined aims of education, neglect past experience, neglect formal education, and advocates pluralism in truth. That's all for the topic pragmatism. Okay. I think that is most important topics are pragmatism, Marxism, existentialism, then idealism and naturalism we have already discussed in curriculum paper. So you can, if you need notes, check it on. Okay. Okay, thank you. So if you like the video, please do like, subscribe, and also share to many of your friends. We'll be discussing the next chapter in the next video, and also we will be discussing the important questions at last for this whole paper, philosophy of education. Okay, thank you.